Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me. I'm not. I'm finna shoot your ass. Don't you? Hey, stop.
These are horrifying moments when cops are caught in fatal ambushes. Meet 30-year-old Timothy Johnson, who on November the 15th of 2022 was wanted for an out-of-state felony warrant. Officers responded to a trailer on Iron Road that someone had reportedly seen Timothy enter but never exit. Upon arrival, they spoke with a woman who lived inside the trailer, and she gave them permission to search.
Huh? She told us we could go in. It's her trailer. Sammy! This is the police department! If you're in here, you need to make yourself known! I don't think so. Sammy! Hey. Look at that. You see that, right?
What? The bag?
Is that a bag or is that a vest? That's a vest.
There's something in here.
We need to lift this up. No, we need to lift this bed up. Cody, you got cover out there while we do this?
As it turned out, the officer's hunch was correct. Timothy had been hiding in the bottom compartment of a storage bed, and when the officers discovered him, he produced a pistol and fired several rounds at them, causing two of them to flee. But one was still stuck inside the dining room area of the trailer.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Come out with your hands up!
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 We're stuck inside the trailer. I'm hit in the face. We gotta get out.
Timothy! You need to come out with your hands up! Back out of the trailer. Back out of the trailer.
You all go first.
Go. Go. I got you. Go. Lock, you're injured. Go. Back up.
Cover the trailer.
The injured officer was hit in the face by shrapnel and taken to the hospital while a tactical unit arrived and made their way into the trailer, but Timothy was already dead. The woman who owned the trailer, identified as Jennifer Gerner, was subsequently arrested and charged with harboring a fugitive. Much to her dismay, they later added a charge of second-degree murder because she knowingly allowed the officers to go inside of her trailer with an armed individual, knowing what the outcome would be. In February of 2024, Jennifer was found guilty of both charges, and her sentence is yet to be announced. That encounter came uncomfortably close to ending tragically, but they didn't have a closer brush with death than this next officer, who was shot and mercilessly beaten by a deranged suspect. On August the 30th of 2021, a pair of deputies were performing a traffic stop on a vehicle containing two men, a woman, and a 2-month-old baby. The driver and the front passenger were asked to exit the vehicle and did so without issue. But when the back passenger was asked to step out, the situation took a devious turn.
What's that? In the car? Alright, partner. He wants to talk to you out here. Is that all you're... Yeah. I'll watch it for you. He's alright. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell. I'll make sure they're alright. I got babies too, man. Huh? Okay.
This is 38-year-old Paris Wilder, and Paris had 2 felony warrants for his arrest that he clearly didn't plan on going down for. But that's not all. He also had an extensive record of violent crime, which included 40 prior arrests and charges such as battery on an officer and attempted murder. But somehow, he was still walking the streets, which led to this moment where he just shot a deputy in the leg while a small baby was in the back seat and exposed to the gunfire.
I'm someone you 10-4, 1446, comment red, 51, infinity.
Paramedics arrived a short time later, but Paris was pronounced dead on the scene. The injured deputy was taken to the hospital and treated for a bullet to the leg and a skull fracture from being hit in the head with a gun. Thankfully, he survived that attack, and no one else was harmed in the incident. Sheriff Wayne Ivey later released a statement confirming that the officer who fired his weapon would not be penalized for the shooting, adding this comment for clarification. And to those out there who might be foolish enough to ask why we shot him so many times, that answer is simple. Because evil can never be dead enough. However, if Paris was evil, then we don't know what to call this next suspect who shot 9 officers after requesting them to his home.
Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
On February the 11th of 2022, dispatch received this call from a man reporting that 29-year-old Shatifa Lobley had been shot inside her home by an intruder. The victim's boyfriend, 36-year-old Morris Jones, could also be heard in the background desperately trying to wake Shatifa up.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency?
It's a gunshot wound.
It's a gunshot wound.
Where?
We got an intruder.
We had an intruder.
Is that a house?
Yes.
So you shot
Baby.
an intruder?
Baby, wake up. Wake up, baby.
Hello, is somebody there to talk to me?
Huh?
Who got
Wake
shot?
up. It's a gunshot wound. We had an intruder.
I got that. Can I talk to one person? Who got shot?
My wife.
Who?
They came in here trying to rob us. They came in here and robbed us.
Okay, how many were there?
It was 3 of them.
Did you
They
see
keep
the
it
race,
going.
white, black, Hispanic?
They had masks on. I can't say.
Okay, what kind of, did they all have weapons?
Yes, they are. Babe,
When
babe,
did they leave?
babe, wake up, babe, wake up, wake up.
Officers arrived quickly and were greeted by Morris, who beckoned them into the house, aware that the shooters might still be in the area, and the officers cautiously made their way toward the home, unaware that Morris was the shooter.
Come on. Suck our own blood. Come on, bro. Come on.
Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
Following the ambush, a whirlwind of events transpired, where Morris was shot once by the officer before closing the front door. Just moments later, backup arrives on scene and surrounds the home.
I got you. West side.
West side.
Meanwhile, Morris fled to his car in the garage and tried to drive away, but as his garage door opened, he realized there was a police cruiser parked immediately outside, completely blocking the garage exit and preventing him from escaping. He tried anyway, but failed and retreated back into the house. And while that was going on, officers were in the front trying to extract Shatifa's brother and the 1-month-old daughter that she and Morris shared. They instructed him to place the baby on the ground, and he was detained, as police were unclear about his involvement at that point. Police then had to focus on rescuing the baby, which they attempted to do with the help of ballistic shields. But Morris shot at them as they approached the doorway.
Hey, come with me. Baby. Door. I got the baby. I'm shot. Yes.
All right, move. Go now. Go.
An hour passed before a special unit could arrive and retrieve the baby from the porch using an armored vehicle as cover.
I need it. Here, give me the baby. Give me the baby. Go. Okay.
Following the child's safe recovery, officers continued to fire into the home and threw gas bombs inside to persuade Morris out of the house, but they got no response. That's when tactical officers entered and found Morris deceased. Though he'd been shot by the officers, he ultimately died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No evidence was found that Shativa's brother was involved in the incident. In total, 5 officers were shot by Morris on arrival, and 4 were shot while trying to rescue the baby from the porch. But fortunately, all 9 officers survived. And if you think that Morris gave the officers a hard time, you'll want to strap in for the next suspect, who broke into 3 different homes while trying to escape the police.
Does he know you're in there?
I don't know, maybe.
What's your name?
I'm scared to death.
On March the 29th of 2024, an officer initiated a traffic stop on a Ford Expedition that had no license plates. But the officer didn't even make it to the driver's side window before 34-year-old Anthony Wade began firing a gun at him.
Shots fired. It's going westbound, eastbound. It's just 1050. Oh, the gun.
The officer was struck in the head and the neck, and a bullet was found lodged into the top of his vest. While he was taken care of, police received a call from a nearby home stating that a man had just barged in with a gun.
He has to put a gun on my head. He was on the backyard and came inside.
Where is he?
I think he went to the other house.
Which way? He went this way?
In the backyard, and then I think he jumped the fence, but I don't know what.
Police department! Hey, just cover me just in case the guy might be in there. Police department, show me your hands. Sparks police. Put your hands up. Stop. That doesn't look like anyone's in there. Alright, so we have a critical incident that's going on. It's kind of dangerous right now. Did anyone jump inside your yard or backyard? Where are you headed to? Okay. What I need you to do, can you go inside your house and shelter in place?
10 minutes later, the officers checked on another home that Anthony was reportedly seen entering, and a female resident answered the door, but she immediately dropped to the floor as the deranged suspect began behind her.
Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Hey, stand up. Are you hurt? Get her up! Get her up! Get her up! Get up! I got you. Where'd he go? Looks like he jumped the fence.
In just 30 seconds, Anthony had fled out the back of that home and broke into another one, but the resident was able to barricade herself in the bathroom and then call the police.
Okay, and tell me exactly what happened.
Somebody just broke in my house and barricaded my bathroom. The police have got the street blocked off. Police got right down the front door and come in.
Okay, he's barricaded in the bathroom?
No, I'm in the bathroom. He's on the side.
Does he know you're in there?
I don't know, maybe.
What's your name?
I'm scared to death.
After extracting the victim from the home, officers negotiated with Anthony for 5 long hours in an attempt to get him to surrender peacefully, but he ultimately refused, forcing special agents to come inside and retrieve him.
Stay right there, watch. Yeah,
Back it up. I got you. I got you. Work it out. Work it out.
While searching through the victim's garage, where Anthony happened to be hiding, he surprised them once again with several rounds of gunfire. But the officers responded with gunfire as well, striking him multiple times. However, an officer was also shot, prompting all of them to retreat from the garage. The police continued trying to talk Anthony out of the home for the next 2.5 hours, but when they got no response, they made entry into the garage, where Anthony was found deceased. A total of 3 officers were wounded, but all of them survived the incident and no one else was harmed. It's truly a miracle that all those officers survived a shootout in such close quarters, but this next officer wouldn't be so lucky, as he was right in front of the door when the suspect opened fire.
Dion, it's Houston Police. Let's do this thing.
On September the 20th of 2021, officers arrived at an apartment on Arrow Park Drive to serve an arrest warrant for 31-year-old Dion Ledette. He was out on bail from an arrest where he was found with large quantities of meth, enough to suggest that he was selling, and smaller amounts of cocaine. But after missing a court date and failing to show up to get his ankle monitor fitted, a warrant was authorized for his arrest. Upon arrival, a woman answered the front door, but she wouldn't respond to the officer's questions.
Houston Police, come to the door. Something just hit the door. Yep. Good morning. Hey, we have a warrant for... Ma'am? Where's Dion? Is he awake? Dion, step out here. Is he awake? Ma'am. Yeah, step out here. Okay. Dion, step on out here. You got to take care of some warrants. No.
Where is it? Where is it?
No, I do not see him. Dion, you need to step out. It's Houston Police. Is he behind the door? Dion.
There's a door behind the door.
She looked back there towards the back. So, Dion, it's Houston Police. You need to step out here. Dion, it's Houston Police. Let's do this thing.
After the shots rang out, Officer William Bill Jeffrey immediately fell to the ground and another injured officer crawled away and called for help. As Dion continued to fire his weapon, 3 other officers scrambled to neutralize him as quickly as possible so they could get to Officer Jeffrey, who was still lying motionless on the porch.
Bill!
Give me, Bill, can you come back? Get an ambulance! Get an ambulance! You good, Sarge? Yeah. Where you at, Sarge? Where you at, right? Where, Sarge? Hey, we need to get Bill out. We need to get Bill out of there. We need to get Bill.
Officers entered the home to apprehend the suspect but found Dion dead from multiple gunshot wounds. They also rendered life-saving aid to their colleague, but tragically, Officer Bill lost his life in the line of duty that day, succumbing to his injuries shortly after being shot. The sergeant who was injured was treated and spent several days recovering in the hospital before being released home, and upon recovering Dion's weapon, they found that the handgun was illegally modified with a switch that turned it into an automatic pistol, which would explain how it could do so much damage in mere moments. These next officers were almost the victims of a similarly horrible fate at the hands of a knife-wielding suspect. On December the 1st of 2021, police responded to a residence in northern Indianapolis after receiving a report of a disturbance, and when they arrived, they spoke to the 911 caller, 22-year-old Deonta Williams, who advised that a man had attacked him and fled the scene.
How you doing? Okay, what's going on?
Dude was down there.
Down where?
Like walking away down there towards.
Do I know?
What's wrong with him? He down there.
Okay, what's he doing?
Drunk, keep on harassing, throwing bottles, doing all that.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm just walking around to the gas station. I just see him. Stupid.
Okay. And how is he bothering you?
I think he threw a bottle or something and he just talking stuff. I think something wrong.
All right, we'll go see if we can find him.
As the officers then turned to make their way back down the street where the suspect had supposedly fled, Deonta suddenly pounced on them with a knife, stabbing an officer in the neck and another in the chest.
Get down on the ground! Get
44 control police action shooting. Woodland and Fairfield, I've been stabbed.
Is that a rubber bullet?
No.
It's like rubber.
You need to put the knife away from you before the other officers show up.
Was that a real bullet?
Or just close to the intersection?
Was that a real bullet? Oh.
Deonta was still conversing with the officers as backup and paramedics arrived. They were all transported to the hospital where all three were successfully treated. Following a short recovery, Deonta was placed under arrest and transported to the Marion County Jail. In later interviews with detectives, he would admit that he'd staged an emergency to lure the officers to the scene, to attack them with a knife and get them to shoot him, all to express his anger over an expensive medical bill. In July of 2024, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder and a weapons charge, and as a result, he was sentenced to 66 years in prison. While Deonta could probably use some therapy, he wasn't as unhinged as this next suspect, who had tried to murder an officer in cold blood.
I'm not. Don't shoot. No.
On December the 8th of 2021, an officer was called to the Allura apartment complex in reference to a man trying to force his way into a family member's apartment. As the officer entered the hallway of the apartment building, he unexpectedly ran right into the suspect, 40-year-old Antoine Hill.
Can I receive what you have? Okay, put it down on the ground. Wait, y'all, wait! You're a rookie. Go.
As the officer was trying to figure out what was going on, Antoine suddenly produced a gun and pointed it directly at him. The officer immediately backed out of the building, but Antoine followed him outside, acting erratically and threatening to shoot him.
Okay, stay right there. Do not move. Stay right there. Just stay over there.
Please, sir. Please. Please don't do that.
73, I gotta get with the gun. I'm not doing anything. Look, don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'm not.
I'm finna shoot your ass.
Don't shoot.
I'm finna shoot your bitch. Don't. Drop the gun.
I don't have it. Look. I don't have it. I don't have it. Shots fired. The guy has a gun over here. Isabella.
I'm okay, but I need backup.
Miraculously, the officer wasn't hit, and immediately after firing his gun, Antoine ran away screaming and barricaded himself inside of his family member's apartment. Tactical officers responded to the scene a short time later and spent the next 5.5 hours negotiating with Antoine until he peacefully surrendered. He was then arrested and charged with pointing a firearm at an officer and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. At least talking a suspect down is better than having to chase one down, which is why they should feel lucky that they weren't these officers. On June the 19th of 2023, an officer performed a traffic stop on a Kia sedan being driven by 29-year-old Luis Mateo Jacoba Borja. But apparently, he had somewhere to be and couldn't wait around for the ticket.
517-998, oh God, shots fired. 517, I'm hit. He went southbound 21st Avenue. Ah! You hit? Yeah, my left leg. Where'd your 517.
You got your body camera on? You okay? You okay? Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Come on. Stay with me. Stay with me.
While this officer received medical aid, other officers located and pursued Luis. During the pursuit, Luis stopped his car to exchange fire with a rifle-wielding officer and discharged his weapon into another officer's cruiser as he drove past. The officer in the cruiser was hit in the face by shrapnel and had to be taken to the hospital. Luis kept driving until he eventually hit a dead end near 36th Avenue and crashed into a wall. When police inspected the vehicle, they found him deceased from a gunshot wound. It's not been specified whether or not the wound was self-inflicted. When police found his ID, it had his younger brother David's name on it beside a picture of his face. This fake ID initially led to Luis being misidentified as David Jacoba Borja, but following interviews with his family, the mistake was corrected. At least that encounter didn't go as terribly as this next one, where an officer was shot and taunted by an angry mob while the suspect sped away.
Hey, stop! Whoa, stop.
On July the 24th of 2023, officers were called to a neighborhood in reference to a group of trespassers that were spotted in the area. Through police surveillance cameras, officers observed the reported group standing in an alley behind some properties. They quickly responded to the scene in unmarked vehicles and found the reported crowd, as well as the suspect in a black BMW who tried to drive away.
Hey, stop! Whoa, stop! Do not move! Do not move! What's the crossfire? I got shot! I just got shot. Hey! 10-1! My partner shot 10-1! It's okay. I didn't shoot. It's here. I know you didn't. Throw that on. He said, hey, your ass to be dead. 10-1, give me some more. 10-1, give me some more officers in now. 5-6 kills. Officer shot. Back up.
As the injured officer was prepared for transport to the hospital, other officers had attempted to stave off the obnoxious crowd that was steadily inching closer.
Back up. Anyone. 5-6 kills. Back up. Let's go to 2-8-7-4. Did you do it? You said Here, this one? All right.
The officer was then transported to the hospital and released following a successful surgery. A subsequent investigation into the shooting ended in a shocking conclusion. The gunshot actually didn't come from the suspect. It came from the officer on the other side of the car. Apparently, the officer had fired his gun just as the BMW was pulling away, and instead of hitting the back of the vehicle, the bullet flew into the officer's hand. But seeing as it was clearly an accident, the officer responsible was not penalized. It is a tough experience to be shot by a colleague, but it's even worse to be shot by a citizen that you were trying to help.
Here.
On April the 14th of 2022, dispatch received this call from a woman reporting that her boyfriend was going to hurt himself.
Phoenix 911, where's your emergency?
It's at East Beardsley. I'm not there right now. I'm at the gas station, but,
Okay, and you're at the gas station? What happened?
Yeah, I just left the car, but he's trying to... I don't know, but he's just...
Okay, we'll get some help out there. Is that a house or an apartment? Okay, is there a number?
Like, can you just send an ambulance and not the police? Because he's like crazy right now.
Well, what is he doing to himself, or what's going on? First of all,
like
is it a lot number?
He's taking a bat to his head and to his body, like legs and arms. And, yeah, and then he has a... And I took the cord off once, and then he's just, I don't know, but I think if the cops show up there, I think if the cops show up there, it's not gonna be good for, I don't think it's gonna go good.
Any weapons there?
Yes, maybe, yeah, I think so. I don't know. Yes.
Okay, does he have a gun there? Just, if he does, say yes, so that we know.
Yeah, he does.
Does he have the gun out?
I don't know.
Officers responded to the gas station to speak with a female witness, and while they were outside talking, the suspect, 35-year-old Nicholas Cowan, quietly pulled into the gas station parking lot.
Oh my God, that's him. Oh my God, that's him.
Right here on this one?
Yep, in this Prius.
Oh, hey, come on. He's right here. Come out of the...
Oh my God!
Nicholas had zoomed out of sight before backup could arrive, and the injured officer was rushed to the hospital with a bullet in her stomach. Detectives later discovered that Nicholas had abandoned his vehicle and had been picked up by a friend, and he would remain on the lam for 3 days until officers finally tracked him down at a rental property in Scottsdale. The owners of the property, 41-year-old Michael Hankins and 35-year-old Carolyn Coster, were both arrested and charged with hindering prosecution. Nicholas's ex-girlfriend, Nicole Montalbano, was also arrested and charged with hindering prosecution and tampering with evidence for helping Nicholas to evade capture. Nicholas was charged with possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, drive-by shooting, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and 2 counts of attempt to commit first-degree murder with premeditation. The following month, he pleaded not guilty to all of the charges and is set to go to trial. Nicholas definitely made the officers work for that arrest, but not as hard as this next maniac who attempted to wipe out an entire squad of officers for no reason at all.
Man with an AK-47, he's shooting at us.
On July the 14th of 2023, in the early hours of the morning, 37-year-old Mohammed Barakat accessed a few trail cameras through his computer and deleted some files before putting on a tactical vest, loading and aiming some weapons, and packing them into a suitcase. He then casually loaded the suitcase into his car and drove to a nearby gun range. He spent about 20 minutes there and then picked up a couple of items at a gas station, returned to his apartment twice, argued with a building manager on the second visit, and unloaded and reloaded things into his car before leaving his home for the last time. And as he drove, he came across the scene of a fender bender where officers were tending to the incident. And this is what happened next.
got shots fired. Central, we got shots fired. Central, we got a man with an AK-47. He's shooting at us. We're at...
Mohammed let off a flurry of shots from the parking lot of a nearby business. In the seconds following, 23-year-old Officer Jake Wallen lined up a shot and fired once at Mohammed, but in the next instant, he was struck by Mohammed's assault rifle and killed. He also critically wounded officers Andrew Dotas and Tyler Hawes, and the driver that was involved in the crash, Carly Coswick, was also shot while trying to run for cover. At this point, Officer Zach Robinson was effectively alone.
Stop moving! Stop moving! Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Fargo 534, 3 officers down.
Mohammed lifted his rifle again, and this time Officer Robinson fired 3 shots at him, but he continued to move around, forcing the officer to fire several more times.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
The only one?
He's the only one.
The 2 injured officers and the bystander were taken to the hospital, where they would each undergo life-saving surgeries. Mohammed, on the other hand, was found riddled with 21 bullet holes and was pronounced dead at the scene. A subsequent search of his vehicle revealed gasoline canisters, a propane tank, other firearms, a homemade grenade, and 1,800 rounds of ammunition. Later at his apartment, detectives found that Mohammed had secured his front door with a strap. The numerous cameras scattered around his apartment were still activated, and a cable had been set up in front of the door, presumably, so he would know if anyone entered. These details suggested that Mohammed intended to return to the apartment. A search of his internet history over the past 5 years revealed searches for terms such as kill fast, explosive ammo, incendiary rounds, and mass shooting events. The day before the shooting, he reportedly searched area events where there are crowds. Detectives found no evidence of a political, racial, or religious motivation for the shooting. If you think that attack was dark and twisted, then you'll want to stay tuned with this next suspect who led the officers into a deadly game of hide and seek. On December the 2nd of 2023, police were searching the area for a fleeing suspect, 23-year-old Joey Villegas, who was reportedly involved in multiple burglaries. Sergeant Mauricio Valle pulled into the shopping area behind some businesses and attempted to locate Joey, but Joey found him first.
Guys, I got shot. Guys, I got shot. Come over here, I got shot. Put me a tourniquet. Put me a tourniquet. Tourniquet me up. He ran that way south. He ran that way south. Tourniquet me up. Davis, tourniquet me. Where'd you get hit? Both arms and legs. Get my legs. Tourniquet me.
Was it him?
Yes, tourniquet me. Hey,
go back to
tourniquet
the
me.
Diamond Hotel. His gray khaki pants, and he's been shot.
He's been shot.
He's been shot.
While the sergeant was rendered immediate medical aid, Joey was found on the side of the building, collapsed on the ground.
Hold the air, get him detained. Hold the air.
Yeah,
We have to...
Hey, don't move!
This dude. All right. Just go ahead and jump up. I got you. You stay lethal. You stay lethal.
I'm lethal. I got you.
Hold up.
Stop moving! Stop it! Where is it?
I got him. Keep the light on him.
I got him. Where's he hit?
An ambulance arrived moments later, and the sergeant was then transported to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds to his right arm, leg, and side, and several bullets lodged in his vest. Joey would then be pronounced dead at the scene. Believe it or not, the next Colorado officer had the same horrifying experience while on patrol outside of a hotel.
2601 Zuni. I'm hit.
On June the 7th of 2023, Corporal David Briggs was parked right outside the entrance of a Quality Inn and sitting inside his patrol car, keeping an eye on the area. Around 4 a.m., a man casually exited the hotel and, for reasons completely unknown, strolled right up to the cruiser and did this.
Shots fired. I'm hit. Shots fired. I'm hit.
Yeah. 1389, where you at?
2601 Zuni. I'm hit. Suspect, I think, is down.
2601 Zuni, shots fired. Officer down. Switch to channel 1. Cars cover in 2601 Zuni.
Got me an ambulance. I'm still on my feet. I still got eyes on the suspect. Briggs, where are you? 2601 Zuni in the front by the main entrance. Where's the suspect? He's to the north. He's down. I don't see him moving towards the highway. Briggs, where are you? Where's the front? Towards the front of the hotel? First car coming in.
Corporal Briggs limped into the arms of a colleague who tended to his injuries until an ambulance arrived. Thankfully, all 3 bullets that hit the corporal got lodged in his vest, and he was not wounded during the shooting. Both he and the suspect, later identified as 23-year-old Nicholas Lindrum, were transported to the hospital, and while the officer received treatment for minor injuries, Nicholas succumbed to several gunshot wounds and would be pronounced dead. A motive for the shooting was never found. Corporal Briggs's life was effectively saved by the body armor that he was wearing, but the vest wouldn't work as well for the next officer, who left the scene in critical condition.
Where you hit?
On September the 7th of 2023, Officer Brandon Haley conducted a traffic stop in a neighborhood on West Kentucky Street, but he went to approach the vehicle and an unknown assailant suddenly began firing at him from a nearby residence.
Give me EMS! Give me EMS! Officer down! Where you hit? Shots fired! Shots fired!
The suspect, 27-year-old Dominique Thompson, had continued to fire at them as a backup officer tried to provide medical assistance.
No, leave it on for right now. Come on. 40th in Kentucky, I got an officer down. I need more cars. Hey, watch that. This sounds. I believe the shots came from the house up there. Stay with me. Hey, watch your back. Cover that. One of those houses over there. The shots came from the front door. Hey, come on. Get out of the way. Everybody out of the way. Get in the back. I'm working on it. Go. Hey, Sarge, watch this house.
Officer Haley would be rushed to the hospital with bullet wounds in his stomach and one in his chest, and while he was being transported, backup officers infiltrated the residence and took 5 men into custody, including Dominique, after searching the home and finding meth, heroin, fentanyl, and a stash of illegal weapons, 2 of which had been stolen. Of the 5 who were arrested, 3 were hit with weapon and drug charges. However, Dominique acted alone while shooting at the police and was charged accordingly with attempted murder of an officer, first-degree assault on a police officer, trafficking meth, trafficking heroin, wanton endangerment, receiving stolen property, resisting arrest, tampering with evidence, possession of a firearm as a prohibited person, and 3 counts of possession of a handgun as a convicted felon. But Brandon didn't get as close and personal as this next suspect, who tried to execute an officer for coming to his house.
Hang on!
On August the 28th of 2020, a deputy paid a visit to the home of 69-year-old Douglas Popke to serve him a restraining order, but Douglas wasn't very happy about the deputy coming onto his property uninvited.
Damn. There. Hello, Sheriff's Office. Hello, Sheriff's Office. Hello. There he is. Sheriff's Office. How you doing, sir? Are you Douglas Popke?
No. What are you doing, partner?
I'm
you
here.
came through my goddamn gate. It was locked.
Hang on.
No. You came through my gate. It was locked.
I'm gonna leave paperwork here for you.
The deputy seemed to misunderstand. What Douglas was insinuating was that he was trespassing on his property and liable to be shot. And that's exactly what Douglas intended to do as he went inside to retrieve his AR-15 rifle.
Control Lincoln 12, 10, 10, 9. Organize.
Hang on! Stop! Put the gun down! No! Okay, stop! Control David 20, shots fired! Shots fired!
When backup arrived, Douglas had disappeared. For the next 2.5 hours, police searched for Douglas in the immediate area before they were finally able to convince his wife and son to expose where he was hiding in a nearby trailer. Officers found him with 2 bullet wounds to the shoulder and took him into custody without further incident. Douglas was the only one injured during the shooting, and 2 years later he was convicted of first-degree attempted murder on a police officer with the enhancement of discharging a firearm and assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer with the enhancement of using a firearm, and then sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years. This next crazy stalker would face a similar sentence after shooting an officer in the face for getting in between him and his ex-girlfriend. On December the 3rd of 2019, a couple requested the police to their residence after their daughter's ex-boyfriend contacted her by phone and threatened to harm her and himself. The couple had separated 4 months prior, and 19-year-old Matthew Cotter evidently wasn't taking it too well. Officers responded, but Matthew wasn't found anywhere in the area, so they left. Police then received another call 2 hours later stating that Matthew had shown up outside their house with a gun. And when police arrived, he was no longer in front of the residence, so officers scoured the neighborhood for him.
It's 282. Right there. No. This would be the car, though. This is a car. All right, keep an eye out for ambush. Keep an eye on this car, I believe. Any footprints going around the back? Any footprints going around? Nothing? Okay, watch that side, please. Shots fired, officer down.
At that same time that the officer found Sergeant Christopher Pelton on the ground with a gunshot wound to the face, Matthew fired his weapon at them from the other side of the fence. The officer responded with several shots of his own, at which point Matthew stopped shooting and started screaming.
Pull him out, pull him out! Keep your f***ing hands up! I will put you down! If you reach for anything, I will put you down! You... Stay down! I'm down. I promise. Keep your f***ing hands up! Keep your hands up! Keep your f***ing hands up!
I promise.
He's on your f***ing stomach.
My hand. Here, handcuff me. I'm a little cursed.
Don't you f***ing move!
Bro, I'm crazy. I'm sorry.
You just shot an officer, man. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You understand that?
I know.
Stop talking.
Can I get out of the snow?
No, you can't f***ing move right now.
I know. It's over. My life's over.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm really cold.
I don't give a shit if you're cold. I'm gonna try to save your f***ing life, even though No, you know what? Just...
You need to lay down straight. Lay down. Is the husband here?
It was just him. They're inside there.
Matthew was held in handcuffs until the paramedics could arrive. Both he and the sergeant were taken to the hospital, where the sergeant would undergo extensive surgery and 24 days of recovery to repair a shattered jaw. And as for Matthew, he was treated for a gunshot wound and promptly released into police custody. In February of 2022, he was convicted of attempted assault, attempted first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, prohibited use of a weapon, 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 6 counts of committing a crime of violence. 3 months later, 19-year-old Matthew was sentenced to 96 years in prison. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one and don't forget to subscribe.